All right, so it is 5 o'clock and we are about ready to start. This is Josh Roberts. It's restarting. Shane took it home at 8-3 yesterday and in the first day. And now we're going to pick up where we left off at. And it is 5 o'clock and time to start. I'm going to pass it over to Steam for the announcements. And hope you guys enjoy the show.
All right, guys, here we are. It's day two, SVB and Chip Compton. We've got expert commentary for you by Josh Roberts. Josh, you hanging in, bud?
Yes, sir.
Heck yeah. And we're ready to roll. It's going to be Chip breaking off, so we will see what's going on here. And let you take over, Josh. Guys, remember, we are on Facebook Live, but we will not be that way forever. Make sure you go get your pay-per-view pass ASAP. You don't want to miss out on all the day two and day three action, plus the reloop and all of the great commentary by the Beast, Josh Roberts.
That's right, and they've already broke the balls. I didn't even realize they're getting it started pretty quick. 8-3 to start the day for Shane. And whoever gets the 16 first will end today's day. And we'll see who gets there. Chip has a lot of grinding to do to get back in this thing. All right, so Chip broke first. Shane is now shooting out of the break. And it's going to just push that 11 over and follow it in. Maybe try to get under the 8 or somewhere in that area. Okay. So, I like Chip actually kicking at the 10 ball, not the 1, but the 10. If you kick at the 1 and you don't make it, you could lose position, leave your cue ball out where he can get out of the trap easily. But if you hit the 10, you most likely stay on the pile. You have the 1 and 3 for cover, whichever side you hit, and you're going to be pushing the 4 over and almost positive you'll get a rail with a decent speed.
And I'll bring it back here in just a second, Josh. Sorry, I blocked the screen, guys. It's not him, it's all me. Promise I will get it done here in just a second. And Chip gonna bank that 11 ball back down table. And here we go.
All right, so Shane is going to have to just 2-rail the 8 toward the pile is all that I see. I don't see anything special he can actually do from here and really advance his side. Doesn't look like anything's in the pile, or you can't really move any of the other balls on Chip's side without kind of making it risky. The 8 is the easiest one to just 2-rail into the pile. He could possibly open some balls to his side. He could actually shoot the 7 into the 8 and get those 2 out if he wanted, but you have to shoot a little bit straight for that, and you're putting a lot of speed on the ball, so a little bit more risky. I think I like the 8 ball. Okay, so Shane chose to move them both. He cut the 7, caromed into the 8, and cleared them both. It was actually quite a nice shot. And I think Chip can actually duck here if he wanted to and just thin the 1 ball and go into the pile off the 1 with a little bit, a lot of right spin, super thin cut. and that will limit Shane's position because if he gets him just in the perfect spot where he can't just nick a ball and get safe, he would have to take a foul and get safe because nothing would be on the bottom rail for Shane to kick at. I don't really like the 9-ball bank. I mean, it's okay, but you really have to hit it well and you have to defend. Even if you go up the table, you're not even protecting it. Like you're shooting at the 1 ball, and if you miss it, which he did, you're losing that position now because he's going to be able to just get this ball out rail first, kick it toward the pile, and it should be easy to get out. I don't think he should try to do anything else but that at this point. Kicking it up the table would leave a return. He needs to kick it side rail and toward the pile to not leave a return. Okay, careful. You hit it really hard. This might leave a bank. I think it's going to. Oh my God. I think he got lucky and got it right on the kiss. If it's not a kiss, he's got to cut the 9-ball up just a little bit high and twist it back to get it to go. If he shoots at it, it'll just be to put it on his side. I don't think that he'll actually shoot at it to make this, because you kind of have to put more speed than comfortable to control the 9. So if you happen to miss it, it's easy to get the speed wrong on this. All right, so nice shot by Shane. He ducked. All right, so Chip has got a simple shot here. He can just, well, he could actually bank the 15 into the pile and open them up towards his side if he wanted, to play aggressively. And he could actually bank at the 11. It would be free from here. If he just went up towards the upper right pocket with the cue ball, he could bank at the 11 freely with no problem here. And I think that's what he's gearing up to do. He may even go 2 rails and go back to the left side of the table, Shane's side of the table. That's what he did. But he didn't quite hit the bank as well as he'd liked. But the pile is covering up the ball that he moved over. So that definitely helps Chip and makes it a lot harder for Shane to duck in this position. So this is pretty tough for Shane. He may have to just take a soft kick on the 11 and push it back over and maybe create a little bit of clutter. Nice shot by Shane on the 2 rail kick to create a little bit of tightness for Chip. and he should be able to come off the 2 and just go right above the 9, below the 11 in that gap, kind of towards the pocket, and just play safe from here and just, basically a little damage control. I don't see him. There's nothing to do that's aggressive that will work out for him at this point. He just needs to thin the 2 ball, cut it upwards above the pile, get it out in play for his side where something goes, and just let the cue ball float right across the top of the 9 and see what Shane comes up with after that. He really doesn't have much of a choice. I mean, he could 2-rail kick the 9, but then he's kind of putting it on Shane's side. Well, there's no kind that he would be putting it on Shane's side, so that would be helping him out. All right, so he didn't want to come that far. He didn't want to give Shane a chance to shoot at anything. But he's okay though. He didn't go far enough to hurt himself. Shane can defend against this pretty easily. If I'm him, I might go ahead and just hit the 9 and push the 3 out in the open, or the 5 or whatever that is, and just try to go to the back of the 7-4 like that. Okay, he went a little bit high above the pile. Chip will have the same shot on the 2 ball, or if he can see that 5 ball, he could actually bank it over and create some problems for Shane. It looks like he would be able to stop behind those balls on the pile and keep him from shooting the 11, which would certainly work out for Chip if that was the case. See how he hits it. Okay, he's not doing that. So he just hit a ball, got a rail, try to put Shane in a funny spot to advance anything. And he's done that quite well. And Shane will have to kind of come up with something. Just about any ball he hits, it's going to be a tough time getting the rail, just getting to a rail, let alone not leaving a shot, just hitting it hard enough to get to a rail, unless he were to thin the 8 and go around or something like that, which would leave Chip a shot. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing here. Is he considering thinning the 5 and going 2 rails back behind the 2? What he could do is elevate and just push the 5 over and get a rail and leave the cue ball where it is, kind of on top of the 6-3 area. Keep him off the 11. Looks like he's going up the table, though. Must be going to plant him on the top rail, dare him to shoot. No, he hit it a little too hard for that. Oh, he's sold out here. He's left Chip an easy shot. Chip's going to cut this 2 ball in, and he'll have shape on the 1 next. Can we get the overhead, Steven, and see how the 10-13 looks for Chip out of the middle of the pile? Steven, are you with me? All right, well, Steven's not there right now to change the screen and see what else he has, but judging by where he just put his cue, I think that 10-13 is manageable, close enough where it can be made getting on either side. So he just needs to make sure he makes this and get over there. Nice shot. Oh, hit a little too hard. Speed control there. It doesn't look like the 5 to me banks past this 11 ball. And if it does, he is literally threading needles. Now, maybe a kick's available, but then you have to worry about not selling out. Okay, the bank was there, and he hit it beautifully. And even though he has the 9 available as well, I like the 1. Unless the 13 is actually wired, I like the 1, because the 1, you can hit the 10, it holds your cue ball, it'll open the 13 and the rest of the balls. Beautiful. And now the 10 may go as well, and he has the 13 to bump the 6 out of the way here to do basically the same thing. And even if he can't do that, the 10 ball will still go without that. And he shot the 10 first. That was a smart by Chip. He knocked another ball out, so he has another one in play now. 13 available, the 9 available, the 3 goes, 14 goes. So he's got quite a bit of options here. Obviously, the 9 ball would be next for shape if this were me. Okay, he went to the 3 ball instead. And a little bit short, but it is manageable. He can make this and go back and forth. Maybe even get under the 6, go 1 rail on top, and then get below the 6 and shoot the 6 and then the 14. He definitely has some options here. And he only needs 4 balls. So if he were to get on the 6, he wouldn't need that 11 ball bank. He certainly has some options here. Okay, so instead of going 2 rails to the 6, he went 3 rails to the 14, providing a nice angle to go for the 9. And if he were to hold the angle where he were going into the bottom rail, he may be able to break up the pile. And he did not. He got a little straight on this, but that's okay because the 11 ball bank is available after this 9 ball. And I don't. Oh, okay. We miscounted there. I thought he needed 1 more ball, but he didn't. All right. So Chip takes the first game. So that makes the score 8-4 now. And I'll let the Steven make a few announcements.
Yeah, I was just going to bring this up real quick. So we got access to the guys' bags. Here's what they're playing with. Chip with a Predator, Shane with a Q-Tech. Of course, Shane's playing with the Synergy, and Chip playing with the Predator. And Shane took no time at all to break, so let's see what happens here. Let's go to the overhead, see what Josh thinks about this one.
All right, so that's a decent break. The 5 ball came out a little bit further than he would have liked it to, in my opinion. I think a little bit of tightening up on the rack could change that. In any case, Chip does have a shot to maybe kick the 13 up softly, and he still may end up leaving a shot. I don't know. Chip may have to hit the 5 ball a little thick and try to get on the other side of the 13 or play some sort of offense here, because Shane is going to have something at this 5 where Chip just to kick this 13 and let him do something from there. He would certainly have a tasty looking option on that 5 ball. So Chip has to find a way to defend this 5 ball. And he may shoot a kick bank on the 13, banking it back towards his pocket, or hit the 5 a little thick and go in between the gap there. Okay, so he tried to take it out of bank range, and I think he did put it on a double kiss angle, and if he did, that's a nice shot by Chip. I don't think Shane will have much of a choice but just to take it out of play. Nice shot by Shane. Notice he kicked the top of that ball so his cue ball would go upward toward the pile. Now he hit it a little bit thinner than he would have liked to, but still came out with a decent result. Now Chip does have a bank on this 5 ball, and he has a clear line to go 1 rail into the 11 or 2 ball. I recommend the 2 ball because it carries a safety. You hit the 11, you don't have to get safe. So I like shooting the 5 ball 1 rail and putting my cue ball into the 2 ball thick, and that will certainly provide a shot. Oh, Chip's just taking the 13 out. He's not even banking this. I didn't like that. Look what he's left Shane. Wow, he's left Shane a free bank on his side of the pack and an easy way to just lock him up. This is basically free here to bank this 12. It's right next to the 15. Or whichever ball that is. I'm sure it looks like the 12 to me. Yeah, he can easily bank this at the pocket, right at the pocket, and be behind the pile to do whatever he wants here. So pretty big mistake by Chip, I think. Even though he left a long rail bank, this is still a very makeable shot, and it could do a lot of damage if he were to make it. He didn't. I would say he got away with a little something right there. Shane, first, second game of the day, not quite as precise as normal. So I didn't hit that one as well as he could have. All right, so I don't know if Chip is looking at the combo bank here, but I think that's just being a little hasty and he should play safe. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's what he should have done. And now Shane should be going through the motions here. Maybe just clipping the 10, getting on the pile, one rail, and getting on the pile, side rail, get on the back of the pile or just above it. You have to be careful here. That 6 is poking out a lot where it's possible it could go. Can we get that overhead and see what it looks like from up top, Steven?
Yeah, absolutely. And while we're at it, we're going to go to that overhead. Guys, we are fixing to go off of Facebook Live, off of YouTube. So if you're watching on there, the only way you're going to get to watch the rest of this is by going to OmegaBilliards.com to buy your pay-per-view pass. So you need to do that ASAP because I'm about to turn it off, guys. Josh, what do you see here from this overhead? What do you like?
I think Shane is going to have to basically do what I said off the 10 ball. Or he could maybe bank at the 2 and try to get his cue ball up towards the 13. But I really don't like any of that. I think it's just too aggressive. Now, maybe he could 3-rail the 2 ball, but I don't think that lays correctly for that. I think he's 1-railing this and using a lot of it. That's what he did. He used a lot of inside, went up the table, and he actually hit it just a bit hard where it's not even going to stay near the pocket, really. And Chip has an easy way out. He can just bank that 2 ball into the 1, or if he doesn't like that, cross it, bank it back to